Hey everybody, it's Denise coming back with to you for our group coaching, weekly group coaching session, always trying to bring some interesting stuff to talk about. And today is going to be about cellulite. Yes, cellulite, however way you want to pronounce it, is that cottage cheese, that jiggly stuff that we don't like in the areas that it shows up. So we're going to talk about it today. I've actually been studying this for several months now. I'll pick up on it, go back to it, but I've been pulled to it for several weeks now because this is one of the issues I want to address, because we can be so focused on our goal to drop the weight as we should be. And then we don't want to be left with a body with, dimples here and there. So because it's one of the things that I am addressing for myself, I said, hey, let's give you an earlier start than I've had with my journey, because my goal is to wear the two-piece swimsuit and wear it well. And I mean, rock it, like CoverGirl rock it, that kind of look. And be able to just as good as you look in your clothes, you want to look booty butt naked good too, right? Come on, somebody just give me a little shout out in the Q&A and say amen to that, because I know we're not being vain, we're just being real, because you busted your butt. A lot of you are rocking your journey and you want to come out of this head to toe, smaller and at the same time stuffed tight. So let me help you get in position, a better position to do just that. Are you ready? Somebody give me a shout out or something, boost me up on this subject. You should be jumping up and down because it's a good subject for us to talk about. Anybody got anything to say in the Q&A while we get ready to rock this discussion? All right, so our subject today is cellulite, how to address it, okay? So first, let's start with what it is, all right? And we can get through it. I said, let's get the information on. Okay, we're ready to get to this thing. It's like enough babbling, Denise, just get to it. Okay, cellulite is not uncommon to most of us. If we look at our bodies right now, we're going to see some cellulite, because it's not just because of the weight, but it also comes with age. So cellulite occurs, and this is very important, in the butt, hips, and thighs only. You're not going to see cellulite in your breast, arms, or stomach. That's not cellulite, okay? And let me explain this, very important. Hips, butt, thighs is where cellulite comes in. And the primary reason why there is cellulite in those areas is because there are twice as many receptors, fat cells in those areas, and it tells the body to hold on to that fat, keep a fat reserve for such times as pregnancy. Yep, believe it or not, when people get pregnant, that's where cellulite increases the most even. For those of you that are moms out there, think about it. After you've had, you were pregnant, had your babies, and then perhaps after having kids, you saw more cellulite in that area. I have a question. Can men get cellulite? Absolutely. So the difference, though, it's a little, so here's the thing, the beauty that I found. Men, you're little, special in that while you have some siblings of cellulite, when you start these things that I'm going to talk about to do, it goes like that for men. It's really rare, but the cellulite that men have, it is because of the fat stores, okay? So yes, men can get cellulite, and for some of the same reasons, but it doesn't come on because of pregnancy and ovaries and all that kind of stuff. It's related to insulin resistance. So yes, but it's not as defined and it's not as much because of the testosterone, estrogen levels that men do not contend with, testosterone. So that was a great question, member. All right, maybe you've seen somebody with it, I don't know. But anyway, so let's take a look at the problem so we understand it. But I've got cellulite on my butt, hips, and thighs. And that's why I'm working to reduce it, smooth those areas out, because all of it is going to be showing. So let's dive right in. All right, so let me minimize this and let's understand the problem. Okay, so What is cellulite? So right below your skin is this connective tissue. This connective tissue holds skin, muscle, and fat layers together. That's why when we were younger, everything was tight. I mean, you look at your thighs, and even as athletes and other women now, you can look at their thighs and their thighs are tight. You don't see any dimples. And by the way, cellulite doesn't matter what size you are. You can see skinny ladies with cellulite. Anybody agree with that? I've seen them. So it's not a matter of being overweight that cellulite presents itself. So these things, that connective tissue can degrade. And that's what I'm saying in the second bullet. These collagen bands, because it's collagen, a fibrous band that holds them together. So that collagen, when it is either partially or completely depleted, that fat pushes up against the skin. That's what's creating that dimple-like, cottage cheese-like look on our thighs, our butt, our hips. It's because the collagen has diminished, okay? And that fibrous tissue, that connective tissue, isn't holding it together, all right? So what do you see? You see the dimple-like, as I mentioned, cottage cheese-looking appearance. You see the enlarged fat cells. So it looks like it's a lot of fat, but that's not fat, y'all. Believe it or not, I'm going to show you. It's not all fat, is what I should say, because it is part of the fat cells, the fat that's pushing against the skin layer. Thinner skin in those areas. Circulation loss, that's what's happening. So even though it's not like your thighs are going numb or your hips or butt, it's like there's not enough blood flow though. The blood isn't flowing. So the lymph nodes in those areas, because you do have lymph nodes in your neck and throughout your body, but you got a lot of lymph nodes in your thighs, butt, and hips, believe it or not. And if they're not flushing out that fluid in those areas, it holds back and it creates this swelling look, right? So fluid retention, backup of the lymphatic system, and atrophy of the muscle. So after a while, it's just flabby. There's no muscle underneath. There is muscle, but the muscle tone is already suppressed by the excess fat, the excess fluid, and the lack of the elasticity in that area, which is the collagen, okay? With me so far? Any questions? This is going to get good. It's going to get good. Trust me on this one. So what's the cause of all of this, right? So the loss of collagen is caused by excess estrogen, even during menopause. Listen, when we turn 52 years old, and sometimes sooner, we go into menopause. The ovaries stop producing eggs. And I can tell you, I went into menopause at 50, y'all. I remember it like it was yesterday. I stopped having cycles when I was 50 years old. I was glad about it. Didn't bother me none because I had fibroid tumors, heavy periods, and didn't even know the reason for that. Now that I've been keto, I understand the reason for all of that. Go back to insulin resistance, go back to how it impacts all the different organs in the body, even the reproductive system with fibroid tumors, sugar. Sugar was feeding tumors, y'all, like it does even in cancerous states. Didn't even know it. And that's why I had these huge tumors that I had to have surgeries for. So if you're out there and you're dealing with this, doing keto right now is the best thing you could have done. I have had members who could not get pregnant for years and started keto and got pregnant within months of starting keto. Believe it or not, my niece is one of them. So it's very important when we start looking at this from the right angle. So it's excess estrogen. Okay, even during menopause. How can you have excess estrogen during menopause? Because you don't have ovary functions during menopause, but other parts of the body make estrogen too. Yeah, fat cells make estrogen, skin cells make estrogen, believe it or not. And then there's an enzyme called aromatase that converts testosterone, because remember, we got some testosterone in us. It converts testosterone into estrogen, which makes more estrogen. And so now you've got an estrogen dominant system now. And with that excess estrogen, it starts to break down the collagen fibers. It destroys that fiber that holds the skin layer underneath there, and it causes that jiggly sensation. So you can squeeze your thighs, your butt, or your hips right now, and you're going to find that, you know, there's that excess jiggly, excess skin, that fat around it or whatever. And I used to say, even while I was doing keto, let me share this with you. Even while I was doing keto, I would say, darn, there's still a lot of fat on my thighs. Until recently, I would say this, I still got a lot of fat on my thighs, a lot of fat on my butt and my hips. And now I'm finding out it's not all fat. I do have fat there, but it's not all fat. So when you start looking at this problem, it's hormonal, not necessarily a dietary issue. We've got to fix the collagen. We got to fix the issue of the excess estrogen too. All right. Any questions so far? Is this connecting to anybody? Connecting? Anybody out there with little cellulite, little excess on your butt, hips, and thighs? Let's go a little deeper. I clicked the expand button. Didn't mean to do that. But let's do this. Okay, so how do you improve it? Because that's really what we want to know, right? How do you get rid of it? Because we don't like it. Thank you, member, for answering the question. I'm not the only one with cellulite. Thank you, member. So the question is, how do you improve cellulite? How do you decrease the appearance of it? And how do you get rid of it? Because I've seen people lose a lot of weight, and you look at their legs, man, they're super, super smooth, tight. I've seen folks go through exercise and, you know, really decrease that cottage cheese looking legs, butt, and thighs. I've seen it. I know a lot of people who've done it. So let's look at how do you address it? How do you improve it? And we'll cover, for the member that asked, how do you improve the hormonal issue? We're going to talk about that too. So we don't have to live with cellulite, believe it or not. We can improve the appearance and decrease cellulite in our butt, hips, and thighs. It's true. So let's take a closer look for the best tips to address it. So here's the thing. Losing fat doesn't necessarily cause the cellulite to disappear. I will raise my hand and say, I've lost a lot of fat, 165 pounds. Well, as of this morning, I'll say 166, but I've been up and down. Still got cellulite. Yeah. So much so that one of my big goals, and this is total transparency here, I can wear anything right now that I want to wear and feel like I look good in it, except for a two-piece swimsuit. I look better in it than I did 165, 66 pounds ago, but I don't look the way I know I can look in it. So just because we're losing fat on keto doesn't mean the cellulite goes away. So how do you get rid of it? We've got to stimulate the muscle. That's why in our hips, butt, and thighs, we got to isolate the muscle. That's why you guys see me doing these crazy squats and lunges. It's isolating that muscle, because there are 90 muscles in the lower part of your body from your hips down. There are 90 muscles. You need to get those muscles moving. So doing lunges and squats are super, super helpful. The very things we don't like to do. I can't stand lunges or burpees. I don't like those two exercises, but I know that they work. I know squats work. As a matter of fact, I got 150 squats to do tonight. This is my homework assignment from my new trainer, day one. I've got to get that in. It's just par for the course. Walking backwards, believe it or not, that reverse process helps to work that muscle. And we say, well, you walk backwards, just know where you're going because you can't see behind you. On a treadmill, you want to take it slow, that kind of stuff. But walking backwards does help because it's activating that muscle group, isolating that muscle group. And then high intensity interval training like sprints. I'm trying to get back to my running. It's probably 7 inches of snow outside. It's been snowing since I worked out at 6 o'clock this morning. It's been snowing all day here. So haven't been able to really get out and run. I want to run outside. I don't want to run on the treadmill. So I've been kind of rebellious about that. But I noticed that the appearance of my legs were very, very different when I was running half marathon, 6 miles, 8 miles, that kind of running. I was seeing my legs were really taking great shape. And over the last, I would say, couple of months, because I haven't really run in a minute, I'm seeing it's like, wait a minute, I don't remember seeing that much jiggly on my thighs, so I got to really get back to it. But these exercises are great to do. And here's a little tip. If you have any issues with lunges or squats and trying to do them, because there's tons of different squats and tons of different lunges that you can do, find one that works for you. Air squats aren't the only types of squats that you can do. Even if you know that you can sit down in a chair, that's a squat. So just go back and forth, sitting down in the chair, you're squatting. That's it. Simple as that, because that's the whole movement of doing a squat. It's just like you're positioning your body to sit down. So you've done a squat. If you can sit down on the sofa, you can sit down in a chair, you can do a squat, and just start slowly. Okay. Intermittent fasting, y'all, we don't get away from intermittent fasting, especially at least 18 hours to trigger autophagy. The most significant way, one of the most significant ways is intermittent fasting on the regular, not just a couple of days this week and a couple of days 2 months from now. A consistent intermittent fasting routine, 18 hours or more, triggers autophagy. Longer term or prolonged fasting, like if you're going to fast 48 hours and you're going to do a 48-hour fast every couple of weeks or something like that, and it's consistent, that also helps, because what's happening, remember when I said before, we trigger autophagy, which is the repairing of cells at the cellular level. It's going in and finding damaged protein. What's collagen, y'all? It's protein. So think about it. Remember I said another wonderful benefit about autophagy is your skin and how it improves your skin glow, tone, etc. How it also takes excess skin. This is always amazing to me. I know how big my belly was, right, before keto. You'll soon see when you get the book. It's coming, guys. The folks are processing now. We've gotten over a lot of humps. I just had to plug that in. But when you get the book, I included a photo that nobody had ever seen, because I didn't post these pictures, except for my mother, who took the picture the day I started keto. I wanted this picture, and I said, I'll never show this picture until I have a 6-pack. And so that picture is in the book of me showing my belly, okay? To see that picture and to see this 6-pack with a little extra exception of the little lower belly fat that I am about to get rid of, mind-blowing. Where did the skin go? Where the heck did that skin go? Autophagy. 18 hours or more of continual, consistent intermittent fasting. The body says, oh, we're going to repair the damaged protein. And if I need extra protein from her diet, meaning I hit my protein numbers when I'm doing keto. But when you're working out and you're doing that, your body needs a little bit more. So guess what? It wasn't going to get it from the food, because I don't eat my exercise macros for the most part. It's going to get it from my body. Just like it goes and burns the stored fat, it goes and gets that protein source from that excess skin, the largest organ on your body. So if you're not doing the intermittent fasting on a regular basis, at least that 18 hours, and kick in with that, then you're slowing the process of using that excess skin. And if you have been doing it, just give it time. It's going to catch up. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. Increased blood flow. I'm going to stay here for a second, because remember I said there are lymph nodes in your thighs. And if the circulation is impacted because of all of the excess fat that's there, the fluid retention that's there, so it's not draining like it should, then we've got to get that flow going. Rebound exercise. Remember when rebound exercise, the things we used to do as kids, jumping on a rebounder, it actually gets circulation going in your thighs. Well, I can't do that here, but you can probably do it at your house. Just be careful, because for some reason we jump too high on that stuff. But consider those smaller rebounders that you can put in your house and use that. I think somebody on this call has a rebounder, if I remember correctly. But those things work for your thighs, believe it or not. But I went back to something, and I remembered in my research, when I was researching this, I was like, I used to do dry skin brushing all the time. When I was getting colonics back in the day, when I was doing colonics, that was one of the things that my colonic therapist used to have me doing, was dry brushing every night. And I would do the apple cider vinegar every night. And she had me doing that. And that is the best I remember my thighs being, was when I was, doing that regimen. So dry skin brushing 2 to 3 times a week. Depends on how big your thighs are and how much you have and what your skin can tolerate. Works. So this is, you can't really see this, but this is my dry skin brush, right? And I don't get this one wet. There is one that I have for the shower, but this one is one that I don't get wet. I just hold it in my hands. And when I'm retiring for the night, I'm just gonna, from my feet, starting with my feet, brushing up to my stomach. And then I'm gonna come down from the top of my body down to my stomach. And I'm gonna do that on each side of my body. And I'm gonna dry brush for a good 10, sometimes 15 minutes, because I'm multitasking while I'm doing it. I'm not digging in my skin, I'm just brushing it up. And what happens, you're getting rid of dead skin. You're allowing the circulation to start to flow. It's helping the lymphatic system start to push that stuff out. And so what you do after that, I'm just giving you my tips. Where did you get the dry brush? Okay, I'll send you the link. I got it from Amazon, $9, $10 for this handheld brush. And this one is one of the better ones, actually. I like this one better than the other 2 that I had. And the other one is a wet one. So I will send it to you. And they also have ones that you can put the long handle and get to your back and all of that. I've gotten pretty flexible that I can actually reach my back. So I will send the link for it, because guys, listen, let me tell you what's happened in a couple of weeks. Is it like a regular brush? No, not really. I mean, some bristles, some are out there that are super coarse in terms of the bristles, and it can, kind of leave your skin kind of scratchy like. This one is a moderate one. I don't like them too soft, and I don't like them too coarse. This one is a moderate one, and it has the, in between the bristles, it has some of these stimulators that'll help with your blood flow. So it's conceptually like a regular brush, but it's not in terms of the bristles. This is like boar's hair or something. So it's hypoallergenic and things like that. So it's super helpful. Doesn't sound ideal for people extremely. It's actually extremely ideal for people with dry skin. Those are the ones that need it the most. If you have dry skin. So let me finish the process for a second, because this is very important. After having done this and started this process again, now everybody doesn't see the results immediately. I'm not going to say that you'll see results immediately. I'm going to cover this in another slide. You will see results. So what I'm telling you, after you've done your brushing for your 10, 15 minutes, then you take a shower, because you want to, wash the dead skin away. And then you have your oils. I should have brought my oil. Whatever oil you want to use. I've got avocado oil. I've got a lavender oil. I switch in between these 2 oils, and I just take a little bit and put on my skin, so my skin can absorb moisture. Because what you've done now, and you have taken away that dead flaky skin, and you are really, what you've done, and my skin is super, super soft. And this is a regimen. My Wednesday, Sunday regimen is body scrubbing, okay? It's body brushing. So when you put that oil on, your body just absorbs that oil. And what you find is the skin is more supple, it's softer. And what I'm finding in my thighs, butt, and hips is that It's, yes, the skin is smoother, but I'm not seeing the dimples that I was seeing before. Do I still have to lose more inches in my thighs? Absolutely. So if you have excessive dry skin, my recommendation to you is to start slow on the body brushing. Don't go hard. You don't have to go 10, 15 minutes. You can do one round up one side of the body where you're coming up and coming down from your shoulders. Don't put it on your face or your neck, because those are super sensitive areas. Go to the other side of your body, coming up from your feet. And you can do it the soles of your feet. You want to do that because that's also stimulation. All nerve endings are in your feet. So you want to do that to stimulate your whole body and bring it down. And it's so rejuvenating. Men can do it, women can do it, and it just gets your lymph system activated. Okay. And then just take some oil and just rub it all over your body and go to bed. And that's all you do. You can do that twice a week. I would say start at twice a week. If you've got sensitive skin, if you've got a break in your skin, if you've got anything like that, you don't want to do body brushing in that area. Very important. You do not want to brush over broken skin. Okay, so be clear. Burn, broken, in any kind of way, infection, etc. But if you have dry skin and it's not too sensitive for you to body brush, then this would be perfect for dry skin, people with excessive dry skin. Now, if you have eczema and you have those kind of outbreaks, that's the kind of thing I would say don't do the body brushing for if you have eczema or if you have some other skin situations. Talk to your dermatologist about that. They can tell you whether or not that would work for you. So you make that call on your own. Okay. And then lower body massages on a regular basis. Anything that's stimulating that circulation in that area, you can massage yourself. You can massage your legs just like you were at, the spa or whatever, to get that moving, get the circulation and stuff moving in that area. But the body brushing is superb because it's removing dead layers of skin. It's helping your body and what it would be doing with intermittent fasting and all of that. And then the last one here, I'm going to zoom in, is to increase your consumption of vegetables to increase potassium. Salt and potassium balance each other out. Not enough potassium in the body is going to hold on to the salt, which creates the inflammation, fluid retention in that area. Okay, so these are just helpful tips. So let's look at some of the other things. One member asked the question, how do you balance out the hormonal issue, right? That's with collagen. That's with intermittent fasting. I should have touched on that when I was on that page. So I am going to backtrack. Oh, shoot. I went back too far. So let's go in. So intermittent fasting, guys, is one of the most significant healers of everything. So let me take a moment here because I want to make sure I'm answering all the members' questions. So I'm going to answer the question, how do you deal with that excess estrogen that the body is producing, which is the hormonal imbalance? Well, let's talk about it for a second. When we hit our 50s, we go into menopause. And what happens, the ovaries stop producing eggs, and the adrenal glands, there are two, they sit on top of each kidney, right above your kidneys. The adrenal glands take over, okay? They're the ones now talking back and forth to your brains and letting your brain know, talking back and forth to your brain, letting your brain know that there are no ovaries here. We're not going to have a cycle. There is not going to be a release of any eggs, right? We're past that stage. And so I want you to regulate this body and the hormones in it so you can stop the hot flashes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and some of these menopausal symptoms. However, if the adrenal glands are stressed, overworked because of stress, is what I should say. Stress will cause the adrenal glands not to function in the way in which they should. So when they should be responding to the signals from the brain to regulate body temperature and regulate this, that, and the other, regulate mood, Remember how when well, some of you is probably still menstruating, having cycles or whatever, that fluid retention and moodiness and all those types of premenstrual things that happen. Well, those things can still happen even though you're not having a cycle, because the adrenal glands aren't stopping that stuff. Okay. And remember I said when there was more estrogen, it's also responsible for balancing out the estrogen levels. So if stress is the dominant factor and there is a lot of release of cortisol, here we go again, that cortisol can wreak havoc on the body. Cortisol and oh gosh, what there's it starts with an A, shucks, it'll come to me. But the bottom line is the adrenal glands are managing that whole process. If they are taxed because of stress in the body, then they are allowing the hormones to get out of balance and so on and so forth. So we got to balance the adrenals by balancing the stress. Still, sleep is a big thing. Stress management is a big thing. And so that brings down the estrogen levels to keep them at balance. But then if for some reason the adrenals need help, collagen, which is what too much estrogen destroys collagen. So a collagen supplement will also help. So intermittent fasting, collagen supplement, these things that I'm sharing with you as well, because that can keep that dominating estrogen levels at bay, will certainly help. So it's not a one-to-one type thing. There's several things to answer your question to address the estrogen, okay? Several things. The number one, in my opinion, is the intermittent fasting, because that causes the body to find the necessary healing. It causes the body to bring down. And if you're having those kinds of issues, then I would say cut back on dairy for a while. Yeah. Because estrogen is in a lot of dairy products. So cut back on dairy and see if you see a difference there. It's hard to pinpoint which one thing was the bigger contributor, but I will tell you, in a day of the week, intermittent fasting, at least 18 hours, will do wonders, because it's addressing so many things in the body. I see another question. Hopefully that answered your question, member. Okay, so I see another question. Because the dry brushing is stimulating, will it affect your sleep? It's stimulating but relaxing, because when I do it at night. For that reason, I'm telling you, my sleep is very different now, super, super different. But I also listen to I like to listen to waves and rain and, that kind of stuff. So I have a calming app that I'll turn on for sleep, and I'm out like a light. I'm out like a light really quick, and I stay asleep. If I get up to go to the bathroom, I can go right back into that sleep. So unless my mind is racing on work or some deadline, which I have to shut that down, and I'll turn on my calming app and go back to sleep, because that happened the other night where I was awakened and couldn't go right back to sleep because, had a lot going on. So what did I do? I got up and I wrote out my thoughts. I had a lot of creative things happening, and then I got sleepy again and went to sleep. One member says, I'm still lost with this when trying to factor in my current med issues. Okay, give me a little more to work on, member, with your current med issues. So tell me what you're lost with. So let's see if we can clarify this for you based on your meds, because you're right, we got to take into account what you're dealing with specifically. So give me a little bit more and tell me where you're lost and what do you mean by your current med issues, okay? And then we'll address that. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about some things not to do, some things not to do. You've got some pointed things that you need to do, but let's talk about the mistakes and the things you should avoid, okay? Going too fast with exercises, doing too much exercise. I've said it over and over and over again. I'm going to say it again. Exercise is 15% of this journey, y'all. What we're eating, tracking what we're eating, hitting our macros, intermittent fasting, getting in our vegetables, 85% of this journey. So going hard on exercise day in, day out is not the answer. Because when you're working out, when you're sore and you've already broken those muscles down and you don't allow enough time to recover between exercises, it's not helping it. It's actually making it worse. You're damaging that muscle even more so, because that's the whole thing of exercise. We break that muscle down and then we'll allow recovery time for it to build up. That's how we reshape the body, right? Hopefully that's what your trainers are telling you. So you want to be able to say, let's say I went hard today, right? With the trainer. I'm not working out tomorrow. Not doing it. Tomorrow is my recovery day. Intentionally built in, because we know what we put the body through today, and I'm feeling it. I wanted to sleep today through all of my meetings. I wanted to take a nap and I couldn't. That's why I will go to bed early tonight, and I will not work out tomorrow. So allowing your body to recover is important. And then so come Friday when I work out, I'm working a totally different group of muscles. Okay, so that's really important that that strategy is set in your workout plan. So yes, we want you to work out, but make sure you're recovering. Okay, so I'm coming back to the member that said she was feeling a little lost with everything with her meds. Lost because I'm already perimenopausal, been this way for at least, you didn't finish that for me. Okay, so if are you on medications for hormone supplements or medication? Is that hormone therapy or anything like that? Give me something to go on there. Okay, and you didn't finish that comment. All right, so the next thing is working out too lightly. Hitting and missing a workout. Like I may work out, if you're working out like once every couple of weeks, that's too light. Once or twice a week, and it's barely any kind of movement, that's too light. Okay, when you do your workouts, you want to feel some level of soreness, not where you can't walk the next day or can't move the next day, but you want to feel the muscle groups in whatever part of your body that you felt you worked. Shucks, sometimes just walking, you're going to feel it. That's enough. Okay, so you can walk the next day, because again, it's not to where it's the muscle you can't even lift your arms or whatever, but if it's just a little soreness, then walk the next day. And walking, by the way, is a great stimulator for your muscles in your thigh, hips, and butt. Too little sleep, guys. God, you can't get away from this one. That sleep and that stress, boy, they affect so much, not just the cortisol and the insulin, but we want to get rid of cellulite. We want to get rid of these dimples and cottage cheese thighs. We're going to have to get that rest too, okay? Not giving it enough time. We want it to happen. All these creams and stuff that they've created over the market, that stuff doesn't work. That stuff does not work. Okay. The key is doing some of these things, especially the intermittent fasting that we talked about, giving it time. That body brushing, honestly, it's a game changer. Dry body brushing, even before keto, I was doing this stuff, and it is a game changer. And to come back to it and to see the kinds of changes that I'm seeing, the smoothness of my skin, is mind-blowing. It really is. So that is now a staple in my process and in my journey, because when I do step out, I'm going to step out strong. Okay, so give it some time. We've carried these thighs around, excess weight and the fluid and all that stuff for years. So thinking it's going to happen in a few months or a couple of weeks or whatever, it may take a few months and it may take a year. I do not care. I was overweight for years. So for me to have 3 years of being at a better weight, I'm good. For it to have taken 3 years to get to this point, I'm still good. So my mindset is like, hey, I'm in it for the long haul. This is a lifestyle. Let me check my time. Darn, where does the time go? And this is a lifestyle. This is not a race. So, hey, at 58, I'm going to look good. At 59, I'm going to look good. At 60, I'm going to look better at this age than I did when I was 40. Okay. And when I was, 35, that kind of stuff. Okay. So the member says 10 years. Yes. Hormone therapy is BCP active pills only. I have dairy allergies, so it's not the dairy. I think my issue is a bit too complex to discuss on this call. Probably so. Probably want to consider one-on-one coaching if you want to address it. But certainly talk to your doctors. Otherwise, I tell people, talk to your providers and let them know how you're taking into account keto and how you want to make sure that the drug therapy that you're on and your diet plans are working together and not contrary. You got a great doctor that can look at that with you. Hey, fantastic. You're one of few, right? Otherwise, I'll say, especially if it's that complex, schedule some one-on-one coaching or sign up for the personal results coaching, because that's where we get into all of this stuff. We don't just arbitrarily talk about it at random. So Wex certainly can help you with that. And talk to it and see if we can come up with a game plan. Because one thing I will tell y'all, I do not confess to be a doctor of any sort whatsoever, but I will take a look individually at your situation and make recommendations of things that you should try or things you should pull out, etc. Oh, she goes on to say, my doctor does not want me on keto, so I'm doing what I feel is best for me. Good for you. And while you're at it, find a doctor who will support you. But this is good that you are taking your health into your own hands. So research the drug therapies that you're on. My doctor wanted to put my sister on a drug therapy for hormones. And I was like, no, 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 no. We are not going to do that. And she listened. She applied some things I told her to do. Fine. Okay, so that's those, you know, how doctors do. They prescribe, and haven't even looked at the big picture of stuff. So good for you for taking your health in your own hand. Any questions about what we've covered today? Anything you've learned about this cellulite? If you were like me, I was like, well, I'd be doggone. It's not the fat, it's the estrogen, which is also another reason why I've taken dairy out of my diet for a while, because I too want to see how this is going to shape my thighs. Remember, I'm serious when it comes down to my goals, and I'm going to listen to me, my coach, and I'm going to listen to the exercise coach that I just signed with. If I know that this is something that I've learned in my study that's going to help me, then I'm going to apply it, okay? Because I want the results of what I'm after. So this is not playtime. One member says, doctors are programmed to think in the best interest of big pharma. Amen to that, member. Really makes me angry. Yeah, me too sometimes, but then I think I get more encouraged the more I research and educate myself, so I can ignore some of the things they've said. I'll give you this updated testimony. My mom goes to the doctor every 3 months, gets her blood lab, sees her cardiologist every 3 months. And this is what he said to her. Wow, Miss King, you are doing fantastic. The meds must really be working. My mom records all her doctor's appointments, right? So she played it for me while I was home for her birthday. And she played, she said, and I didn't go to the doctor appointment with her that time. She said, I said, how'd the doctor appointment go? She said, well, why don't you hear for yourself, right? So he goes, just like I shared with you, wow, Miss King, you are doing fantastic. The meds must really be working. And I laughed. She laughed in the recording, and I laughed, and we looked at each other and we said, idiots. And Mom says, and they don't even know that I cut out some of the medication myself. It's a whole big story. By the time he was done talking, and she says, well, I don't take that medication as often as you say, because I don't need to. My body is stable in this. And he was like, oh, really? Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. So, you know, doctors, some of them are dumb. Shaking my head, such arrogance. I agree with you. And he is arrogant. He definitely is one that's arrogant. So you are spot on with that one on this doctor. Her new cardiologist for the last year and a half is super arrogant, not the one before him though. So here's the thing, guys, at the end of the day, Is cellulite something you can address? You absolutely can. Can you improve it and make it look good while you are on your keto journey, dropping weight and coming back and seeing your skin is tightening in areas and looking good? Absolutely. So at the end of the day, with us taking back our health, improving our bodies, fighting for the body that we want, that encompasses everything. It's one thing to look good in your clothes. It's another thing to want to look good booty butt naked. And that's my goal, right? So is it perfect? No. Is it better than what it was? Absolutely. I love my body. I talk to my body every day. And let me tell you this, if you're not looking at the areas of your body that's not where you want it to be, and you're not speaking positive over that thing and you're complaining about it, then it's not going to change. I posted something on Facebook saying the thing that you criticize doesn't change. You can't change something that you criticize. You can change something that you praise. So start looking at your body and praise your body. Give your body the thanks for, one, showing up every day in a better way. Fact that you wake up every morning strong. You're not in the hospital somewhere. Thank your body for that. I know we thank God. Thank God for giving the body. Look at your thighs, look at your body, look at the areas that you know you want to see improvement. Thank that part of your body for the improvement that's already been made. Fact that you're getting in clothes that are smaller now. Look at your thighs and say, thank you, thighs, that you can fit in these pants. Thank you, butt, that you're in these pants. Thank you, chest. Thank you, boobs, that you're in a smaller bra. I do that all of the time, especially on Mondays when I try on those clothes that I know are too small and they come in a little better. And I'll say, thank you, body. You're responding to what I'm doing. Thank you. Okay, questions, comments, any non-scale victories, anything you guys want to share? We are back on track next Tuesday night. This was, again, just thank you again for your flexibility and making it for Wednesday night session. I appreciate all of you showing up. Everybody showed up tonight and I love it. Anybody want to share non-scale victories, how you're doing on your own journey? Do you have any questions about your journey right now? This is the time to address them. We have 12 minutes remaining. I'll answer any question you put out there as best I can. If not, I will give you 12 minutes back and allow you to enjoy the rest of your day. Any other questions? Anybody else? Couple of quick announcements and updates. We are still going to do the Leaner Me Challenge. And yes, it's been a challenge for me. My schedule is insane. My team will tell you, insane. I am so grateful to God for his strength and allowing me to accomplish the things that have been accomplished over the last 2 months. It is absolutely mind-blowing, even for me having done it and look back at it and say, only God can help me do what I've been able to do. And we are still at it, and there is still so much more to do. But I only take it one day at a time. That's it. So we are still planning to do the Leaner Me Challenge. I keep pushing it out for the team. And quite frankly, let me say this, I'm not in a hurry. I am not going to burn myself out to do a challenge for the nation. I'm going to be ready for the nation, and the system will be ready for the nation, and we're going to have some fun when we do it, be it April 1st or May 1st. And I've had to resolve this within myself. I want to help so many people. It's like, hey, ho. Slow your roll. You're going to get there, and the people will too. In the meantime, help the people right where they are. For those that want that help, stay true to your program, stay true to the system, get into Lean Warrior and read what you haven't read before, get into the system and acclimate yourself. Are you tracking your macros? I have somebody in my personal results coaching text me the other day, and I was like, because personal results, I do allow some texting, and we're going to upgrade that program too. And she's saying, well, I was like, well, first of all, not to text me if you are not following your program. I will not coach. Let me be clear on this. I do not coach everybody. I have declined coaching a couple of people already because they're not ready, and you will not waste my time. I want to be clear on that. If I see that somebody is not ready for personal results coaching, I will say no to you. And if you paid your money, I will ask the team to refund your money. I will not waste your time, and you will not waste my time. I want to be clear on that. And in this particular case, this person will not be coached by me, not just for the reason she wasn't tracking, but I'm not accessible to folks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't have to preach that to this group. That is a no. You are not paying for that kind of time. Okay, that doesn't happen that way. But at the same time, you're not ready. You're not ready to do the work. You're not ready to get the results. So when you're ready, go somewhere until you're ready. Now that works my nerves. Now that part of Denise King, y'all don't know because you don't have that. We don't have that issue. But I will tell you, she does exist. And I try to keep her at bay. Okay, so a question on the call before we wrap up. If a collagen supplement contains 9 grams of protein, should it be added into your macros? Absolutely, great question, all day. The Lean Warrior collagen powder, add it to your protein. If you're taking a collagen supplement, by the way, we are working to restock all of our supplements and get the ones that we really, really want to continue to promote updated. That's something that I've already started working on. Remember, I said we've been crazy busy. So I expect to have those supplements in time for the, my goal is to have them in time for the Leaner Me Challenge as well. Supplement is, collagen supplement is great. Protein supplement is great. The green drink is great. This is stuff that we know works. And this is stuff that I take too. Matter of fact, I did my, I had a protein shake yesterday. Oh my gosh, it was ridiculously good. All right, so yes, member, please track those protein grams in your macros. Okay, one more question. Member says, so what do you need to have in place to be ready for 101, or is this info in the portal? It's in the portal under personal results coaching, 101 coaching that talks about all of that and how to sign up for those sessions, 4 sessions, etc. Take a look at that in the portal and it should answer all of your questions. If you have more questions, send them up to support at Lean Warrior Weight Loss and the support team will be more than happy to answer those for you. Okay, so hopefully we're all set there. Any other questions? Any other non-scale victories? Okay, all right, so hopefully everybody is doing good. You're having a great week. Let's go in and then keep rocking your journeys, guys. This stuff is, the thing about your journey on keto is that, yes, it's repetitive, but this is the lifestyle. So make this work for you. One member on this call, my gosh, I know I keep calling her name out, but I don't think we've ever, well, yeah, we have. No, I take that back. I was getting ready to say, I don't think we ever had a member that goes through all of the menu. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I got 2 more of them on this call tonight. I just looked at the list and it's like, oh yeah, they're all in that portal. They make those recipes all day long too. She just happens to be posting her stuff in the Facebook group more than others have in the past. So keep doing that. Keep trying stuff. I go in the portal and I forget I put a recipe out there for this. So today I had Philly cheesesteaks, no cheese though, because I cut out the dairy. So I had all the peppers, I had the steak. Oh my gosh, it was good. I just kept, nibbling on it, talking about how good it was. So that kind of stuff, it's like, darn, this is keto all day, every day. I love it. Okay, guys, keep doing what you're doing. Take your game up. It's time to level up. For those of you that are at goal or so close to goal, push that thing on through. Cross that goal line. Cross that goal line. Tell yourself you're going to cross that goal line. Okay, and go make it happen. All right, guys, listen, always a pleasure to come before you with our group coaching calls. This is one of the fun times of my of my week. Believe it or not, after all the other stuff I do in the given day, this is what I look forward to. That's why I don't like to ever cancel these sessions. I'd rather move them a day or so in the week, but still have them because I know it's going to help you. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you inside the Facebook group. Thanks. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye.